Hey guys, this is Naveen Chahal and welcome to NSL classes. In today's video session, we are going to discuss about that an electron which is revolving around the nucleus. What is the radius of this circular orbit in which the electron is revolving? Okay, and what is its velocity? So these are two things we are going to discuss in our today's lecture, and these two things are very important for the competition purpose. Let us assume that the electron is revolving in an nth orbit and with a velocity vn, that is the velocity of the electron revolving in the nth orbit is vn. The electrons which are revolving around the nucleus in the particular orbit, and for a circular orbit the condition is given that the angular momentum, that is d theta, is equals to integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Now this is the condition for the circular orbits which is given by the Bohr, or we can say that this p theta is the angular momentum, and we know that angular momentum is a multiplication of mv and r. Here that is the mass of the electron. If here m is the mass of the electron, then this p theta is given by the product of m and the radius of the orbit in which the electron is revolving, that is rn, and the velocity mvn and rn. Okay, now this is the condition for an electron to revolve in the circular orbit. Okay, this is we can say that this is first equation and this is the first condition we have. So how we proceed now, that we have to calculate the radius, that is this rn, that is the radius of the path, or we can say the circular orbit in which the electron is rolling right now, and vn is the velocity of the electron in this rnth orbit. Okay, so from here we can calculate that nh upon 2 pi, this is equals to mvn up into rn. Okay, so it is a very clear thing that vn and rn can be calculated from here, but these two quantities are unknown quantities for us. That is, we have to calculate rn and also vn. Then how we proceed now? Okay, so we have to account the interaction here between the electron and the nucleus. And what are the interactions here? Okay, we know that when a body is revolving around a circular path, we can say that when a body is revolving in a circular path, what are the forces acting on that body? That is, to revolve a body in a circular path, we have a very known force, that is centripetal force. Clear or not? That means this electron experiences a centripetal force of attraction towards its center, or we can say towards its radius, and this force is, let us call it Fc. This is centripetal force acting on this electron to this circular path. Okay, now what are other forces acting on this electron? One more thing, that we know that one another force which balances this centripetal force, this is, we know that this is perpendicularly outward from the radius, this is known as centrifugal force, Cf dash, let us assume that, and the value of both these forces, that is Fc, that is centripetal force, and this is centrifugal force, Cf, we can say that centrifugal, and this is C dot P, this is centripetal force. Is it fine now? Okay, and the value of for both these forces, what is the value? We know that if an object is revolving in a circular orbit, or we can say circular path, with a velocity v, and if r is the radius of this orbit, or we can say the circular path, then the centripetal force or centrifugal force gives us the mass and the square of the velocity and divided by the radius of that orbit, or we can say the circular track. Okay, now this force is experienced by a body which is revolving around a circular path. Is it fine or not? Okay, now we are going to impose the same thing on the electron, that is the centripetal force experienced by this electron. This is equals to centripetal force equals to m. Now what is the velocity? We assume that this is nth orbit and the velocity of the electron is in this orbit is vn. This is vn square upon Rn. Okay, I hope this is clear now. That means what is the force? This is the first force which is experienced by the electron. Okay. Now this is the basic idea. We have assumed that if there is no nucleus, if the body is revolving around the nucleus, the body is revolving in the circular track, then this force must play its role to make it circulate in the particular orbit, or we can say circular track. Okay, now another force which is acting on this electron, we know that these are two charges. One is this electron, this is a negatively charged particle, and this nucleus, that is due to the protons. Okay, so we know that another force which is acting on this electron is electrostatic attraction. That is electrostatic force. Clear or not? So that force is given by electrostatic force, that is Fe equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Both charges, product of both charges, here this charge is Z into E and multiplied by this charge on electron, that is minus E, and divided by the square of the distance between this electron and this nucleus, that is Rn square. This is second equation obviously, and this is third one. Okay, now we have these two equations also. Okay, now one more force is here, that is electron has some mass and this nucleus has some mass. So there must be another force, gravitational force. Clear? So what is the effect of this gravitational force in this case? So gravitational force Fg, this is equals to we know that G into masses, if the small mass and this nucleus has capital M mass, divided by Rn square, the distance between the two masses. But when it was calculated and found that the ratio of this Fe upon Fg is 10 raised to power 35, that is a very large quantity. It means that this force of electrostatic attraction is 10 raised to power 35 times more than the force of gravitation. That means this force, which is given by this equation number 4, is very less, or we can say negligible, as compared to the electrostatic force between the electron and the nucleus, and due to the reason this is dropped. So now we have these two forces, and that equation, that is nh upon 2 pi is equal to mv n Rn. Okay, now by using these three things we have to calculate this Rn and Vn. Then what is the process and how can we calculate? Okay, so the interesting thing is that to make this electron revolve in this orbit, these two forces, that is this centripetal force and this electrostatic force, must balance. So put the values of both these forces, that is this electrostatic force is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, negative sign, Ze square upon Rn square, this is equals to, what is this Cf? This is mvn square. This is mvn square upon Rn. If we are dealing with magnitudes, clear, then this is positive also, this is also positive. Okay, so this Rn can be multiplied here, that is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square upon nothing equals to mvn square Rn square divided by Rn. Now if this equation is multiplied on right hand side by m and divided by also m, then this becomes 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square equals to m square vn square Rn square upon Rn into small n. Now this is clear here that this is nothing but square of this angular momentum. Clear or not? If the square of this thing, that is square of this, nothing else. Okay, now this can be replaced by this quantity, so this becomes 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square, is it fine or not, equals to, this is now n square h square upon 4 pi square, and here this is Rn into m. Now Now here it is clear that this Rn can be calculated from here. Cut the quantities like this 4 pi and this pi square cancel out. So this Rn can be taken here and this can be taken here. So we have, what do we have now? Rn equals to, clear? This is equals to, Rn equals to n square h square, and this epsilon naught divided by pi m z e square. Now this is the value of this circular orbit's radius, that is nth orbit's radius in which the electron is revolving. Now this is given by this Rn, that is radius for nth orbit, is equals to n square h square epsilon naught upon pi m z e square. Okay, if we are assuming that if this z is taken as 1, that is for hydrogen atom, and this n is equals to 1, that is we are talking about the first orbit. Okay, that is the value of n is 1, that is this R1 for hydrogen H, this is equals to, what is the value of this n? This is 1, then n square 1 is 1, then h square epsilon naught divided by pi m e square. Okay, we are very well familiar with the values of all these terms, that is epsilon naught 8.854 into 10 raised to pi minus 12. This pi is 3.14 m, that is mass of electron. We know that 9.11 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. And what is the charge on electron is 1.67 into 10 raised to power minus 90 coulomb. That is, all these quantities in the equation are constant, and when we put the values of all these parameters, we found that this is 0.529 and this is equals to 0.53 angstrom. Okay, now what is this? This is also known as A naught, or we can say that the radius of the first orbit, that is R1h, this is equals to 0.53 angstrom, or we can say this is A naught, or this is called Bohr's radius. Is it fine or not? This is very important quantity. This is A naught. That we have R1h, that is A naught. Clear? If we are calculating for hydrogen atom, this is R2h. What is the value? We just put here. This is the formula now. This is the formula we have to remember, that Rn equals to n square by z into A naught. Okay, now put here n equals to 2, now 4, z is 1 obviously, so 4 A naught. And what is R3h? This is 9 A naught. And what is R4h? This is equals to 16 A naught. Now using these values, that is for hydrogen atom, the radius of first orbit, that is Bohr's radius, this is A naught, and for the second orbit the radius is 4 A naught, and for the third orbit this is 3 A naught, and for the fourth orbit this is 16 A naught. So we can draw here, if this is nucleus, this is first orbit, this is second orbit, this is third orbit, clear, and so on. So we have now this value from here to there, this is A naught, clear or not? Now this value for the second orbit from the nucleus, this is 4 A naught, and the nucleus to third orbit, this is 9 A naught, and so on. Okay, so we will discuss the value of Vn and also the energy of the electron which is revolving in this nth orbit in the next lecture. So keep watching and keep supporting, guys.